Hello, this is Pernilla Lina Rose from Divine Feminine Flow. And I'm wondering, why is everything so fast paced? It seems to me that everything has to be faster and faster and faster. Just a little thing here on YouTube, on the internet. If people don't respond within the first 3 or maybe 6 seconds to something on a video, they're already moving past it. They're going to the next thing. So we learn when you create videos that there needs to be something immediately in the first few seconds that catches people. So you can't be slow. I can't do, for instance, sometimes I've been saying my little favorite mantra, which is, I am deeply relaxed in the effortless flow and fulfillment of God's loving grace. And I'm noticing as I say that, I said it rather fast right now, because I know that most people do not take the time to slow down. It has to be really fast and immediate. And if not, then, you just scroll to the next thing. This is how our brains are being trained and conditioned. And I have definitely been part of that movement as well inside. I've always felt like I needed to be really fast. I needed to say things very quickly, because otherwise I would be interrupted or something, I would be cut off. So I had to get it out really quickly. And, when I've been on the phone with some technical support and some insurance companies lately, and they they talk so fast, some of them, and then sometimes I can't hear them. I just don't get what they're saying. So I'd say, would you please repeat that, and could you say it a little slower? Most of them can't say it slower. It's as if the brain has now been conditioned to be very fast and move from the next to the next to the next. And of course, the sad part about that is that we completely lose the connection with our true divinity. There is no fast pace in there. There's just the experience of the presence. And I myself, I had to learn to slow down in the way I was speaking, because I was just part of that crazy thing. And there is something so satisfying in taking my time to say what my inner wants to say. If I do it really fast, then it will come from here, and I will have to think about what I am saying and I want to say next. And it's not coming from my flow. You know how I often talk about the flow, the divine flow. I know when it's coming from there because I can feel it. It feels like I lean in and let it out. I don't know what I'm going to say the next moment. For the most part, there might be little suggestions coming in, or inspirations is probably a better word, that feel like, oh, yes. And then it just comes out. But I want to kind of put a little bit of a plug in today that it's really okay to slow down. And when I say that, I'm going to ask you to feel what happens in you when I invite you and say it's okay, and it's even safe to slow down. I notice that in my work as a Hakomi therapist and a self-love mentor, that most of my clients, They have this deep longing to just slow down. Just slow down. And they have no clue how to do it many times because the world is demanding something of us all the time. A lot of it may not be important or necessary at all. But when we are in this momentum of the fastness, the fast pace, we don't pause to check in with ourselves. Is this really right for me? Is this really true? When we bypass that checking in, that self-reflection, kind of scanning, like, oh, what is my truth here? Before you just get on the train and off you go, and you totally left yourself behind. Now, what happens then is you get on that fast train and you find yourself in Timbuktu, way, way far away, and you suddenly you wake up and you go like, oh my God, where am I? Why am I even here? Because you bypassed your own sense of knowing what is true and what is right for you. It took me a long time to really dip in and feel my own pace. And I tell you, it is a lot slower than what I thought it was before I really took the time to, I would practice slowing down, but this drive to be fast and to follow the norm or whatever, that would often override. So I had to take time to train myself to slow down and feel what it is like to slow down. And it's wonderful. It is really wonderful. The thing that is different about it is that I often find myself being different than other people. And that also means that sometimes if I want to say something, and if I don't say it at the pace that they're speaking at, then I may just feel like I'm being bulldozed over. But I don't take it personal anymore. I used to, but like, oh, they don't care what I have to say and all that stuff. And then I started realizing, everybody is on this fast-paced insanity. And I'm not gonna do that anymore. It always comes back to this. I've said it so many times, like, I'm done. I'm done with being on a pace that is not my pace. And it is much, much nicer, much more peace-filled. I can sense what's really going on me much easier. I can sense people, what's going on with them much easier because I'm down here in the flow, the pace of my flow. And that may be different than yours. Most likely it is. And you may be more fast-paced. It's not so much the fastness. We're not checking, how many miles per hour we're moving. We're finding out what is the pace of your flow. Your wave, is your wave going like this? Or is it going like this? It doesn't matter. You will find out what your pace is, and it will be the right pace for you. And when you find the right pace for you, you will also eventually connect with others who are in that same pace, where you listen to each other in a different way, where you honor each other's differences. And it's not about being like everybody else. That's one of the programs that we have all been programmed to adhere to. So if you need permission, probably not permission, but just kind of an inspiration to slow down And as you do, you might notice like your whole nervous system gets more nervous. It's like, oh my God, no, we have to go fast because it's a program. It's not you, it's a program that you have been conditioned to adhere to. Let's take a nice breath together for a moment. Just a nice, slow, yummy breath. Feel how your body receives that. Is it nerve-wracking? It may be in the beginning, but don't worry about it. I'm laughing because I know it so well for myself in the beginning. It's like, oh my God, no, this is too slow. It's not. So if you feel like that's too slow, maybe it is for you. But if you go a little slower than you normally are, just a little bit, then maybe you can feel more okay about it, or maybe you can ease into it a little more. So let's take one more deep breath, and then I'm gonna just share my favorite mantra. I am deeply relaxed in the effortless flow and fulfillment of God's loving grace. Thank you so much.